There is one point of consensus among the U.S., its European allies, and Afghanistan. The situation there is deteriorating, and the course must be reversed. The mission, however, has become unclear. David Kilcullen is a former officer in the Australian Army and a counterinsurgency expert who worked closely with General David Petraeus in Iraq. He says NATO's efforts are crippled by a critical lack of coordination.
The problem in Afghanistan is not that we don't have a strategy. It's that we have 41 different strategies, one for each of the countries that's in there. And we also have different strategies between counter-narcotics, counterinsurgency, counter-terrorism, governance development. So there's a large number of different players, all doing their own thing.
Gilles Doransoro is a French expert on security and political development in Afghanistan, in particular the role of ISAF. He says NATO has failed the test of Afghanistan.
The main casualty of the Afghan war is NATO. We are not exactly building some kind of nice democracy. But more than that, the problem is that after 7 years, we did not build the basic thing that constitutes a state.
He and other critics say that while NATO signed on to stabilize the country after the Taliban were ousted, the mission changed after 2003, when the U.S. shifted most of its resources and attention to Iraq. The insurgency and the drug trade began to flourish, with European soldiers either unprepared or untrained to engage in guerrilla warfare, according to Doransoro.
The only army that is really trained, in a way, and probably more efficient, is the British Army. But in this case, Helmand is a failure, so even there it's not really working. So what we are seeing now, and I think that's the core problem here, is more and more this war is an American war. The American troops are becoming the majority, clearly.
The Obama administration initiated a review of U.S. strategy in Afghanistan as soon as the new president took office. In the meantime, Obama has announced the deployment of 17,000 additional U.S. troops to Afghanistan. But some NATO countries, under pressure of public opinion at home, are debating when to exit.
What we are going to see in 2011, the Canadians are withdrawing, the Dutch will withdraw, most probably, and then southern European state could withdraw also. I'm thinking about the Italians or the Spanish. There is a dividing line, between North and South Europe. Yeah. And I'm not sure that in 3 years all Europeans will be in Afghanistan, actually.
In a recent speech to NATO, U.S. Vice President Biden acknowledged that both the Americans and Europeans are weary of the war. However, he said the dangers posed in the region must be faced and fought by all.
We know that it was from the very same area that extremists planned virtually every major terrorist attack on Europe since 9/11 and the attack on Mumbai. We know that it was from this same area that Al-Qaida and its extremist allies are regenerating and conceiving new atrocities to visit upon us.
While a recent poll shows Americans support sending the additional troops to Afghanistan, it is not clear how many more years, soldiers, and money they want to invest there.
I don't think we know yet. I think that Americans have actually more tolerance for warfare than we sometimes give ourselves credit for. I think that what Americans don't have tolerance for is they don't tolerate seeing losses without also seeing some kind of progress. It's very difficult to sustain support is when you feel like you're beating your head against a brick wall and losing people day in, day out, but you don't see any tangible progress.
This is Siri Nyrop, TV Ashna, VOA News.